Hi everyone, I'm Evie. In this module, Module 3, we are going to cover the topic of effective communication and engagement. Alright, so basically in this video, we're going to discuss further on what are the strategies when we are communicating with the children. Okay, first of all, before we go further into the communication strategy, it is also important for us to understand that the child psychology, what we have discussed in the previous module. Alright, understanding the basic of child psychology and its impact on the communication. For example, when understand that younger children may not have the vocabulary to express their feeling and may communicate more through their behavior, then we would find other way to communicate which is aligned with their ability and their need. For example, non-verbal or using more visual instructional pictures to support an effective communication process. Now, it's also important for us to use age-appropriate language, especially with the young children. For instance, using simpler words or shorter sentences for young children and more complex language for the older children. Moving on, adjusting communication strategy based on a child age and cognitive developmental level. For example, in the stage of pre-operational, children learn best with concrete object, hands-on experience, and begin to understand symbolic. Therefore, using more visual aids and demonstration for younger children who may not yet have strong verbal skill to communicate effectively. Next, the role of emotions in communication and strategy for responding effectively to a child emotional state. For an example, in the stage of pre-operational, we understand that children are in the stage where it's more likely to be egocentric. Then we would know that to support in their social and emotional area, to develop a better understanding on turn-taking and sharing is caring through role-playing or being a role model, as well as helping them to understand their emotions, feeling, and how to handle it. Next comes to the verbal communication. What is verbal communication and how we implement it well into the process of communication with the young children especially, including giving a clear instructions to them, your voice, your tone, and etc. First of all, let's talk about the importance of using positive language to encourage and to motivate your children. For example, saying you are doing great, keep trying, instead of you are not doing right. The same as what we as a human like to hear from others as well. Next, talking about verbal communication, it is also important for us to use clear and concise instructions to ensure that your audience, which is your children, their understandings. Of course, breaking down the complex instructions into smaller and manageable steps, and most importantly, make them feel it is achievable. Furthermore, talking about effective communication, with children, also including providing constructive feedback in a way that promotes learning and development. What does it mean, constructive feedback? For example, besides of praising your children's effort, also don't forget to give a clear and specific directions or ways to improve their certain action or certain task. For example, that was a good try. Let's work on keeping your legs straight when you do kicking. So, keeping your legs straight when you do kicking, this sentence itself is a constructive feedback. So good news with that, with the constructive feedback, can help both parties, your children and yourself, have a clear direction in which part to improve. Alright, just now we talked about the verbal communication, So the communication method we use in common, which is the verbal communication with language. Now let's talk about non-verbal communication. What means non-verbal? Non-verbal means that not using words, we communicate using our body language. So besides of verbal communication, some of you may not realize that also important of non-verbal communication, but it's somehow already existing in our daily life. It is important for us as a teacher to understand that and interpreting children's body language. For example, recognizing when a child close body posture may indicate as discomfort or fear, such as his or her arms folded, legs crossed, does not looking at the person who is interacting with. Secondly, it is also important if the teacher maintaining positive body language during your coaching time. For example, using open body language to show that you are approachable and you are a friendly person to the children, that they could approach to you as well. Have an open posture, maintaining a good eye contact, smile, or like the picture shown in the guide, hands facing up, presenting welcome. Thirdly, using non-verbal cue to enhance instructions, for example, demonstrating a swimming stroke while explaining it. Lastly, it is also crucial for teacher to have an awareness of one's own non-verbal cues and their impact on the child perception and response. For example, maintaining eye contact to show that you are paying attention and you are interested in what the child is saying. Okay, here I have provided some pictures for your reference, looking at the difference between the positive and negative body language in presenting the non-verbal communication, which can bring a different impact to the receiver, which is the student, which is your children. Okay, so here are some of the non-verbal body language we might see on the children itself. Once we have a better understanding towards the non-verbal body language and the power of it, it can definitely help us better in communicating with them, understanding their emotions, feeling, and to enhance their learning progress as well as to their parents as well, using the same understanding towards non-verbal body language to understand better what they are expecting from us. Last but not least, positive reinforcement. Throughout the module, we emphasize a lot in doing positive reinforcement to encourage the certain behavior to happen again, or we say to repeat it again. It is through praising and reward to encourage positive behavior and their learning. For example, in swimming, we might praise the child for their effort in learning new stroke, or giving them a high five when they master it or has improved some. Secondly, the impact of positive reinforcement on the child motivation and self-esteem. For example, a child who is praised for their effort is more likely to feel confident and motivated to try again. Thirdly, an effective positive reinforcement in the swimming class, including giving them a sticker or a badge when they master a new skill. It will help them in achieving a short-term goal faster. Lastly, besides of giving something as a reward to them, also using the verbal praising or motivation as a reward can work well too. It is important for teachers to understand the difference between praising children's effort and their ability and promoting a growth mindset. For example, saying you work really hard on that, praising their effort instead of their natural ability, such as you are a natural swimmer. Alright, that's all for the module 3.1. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.